FM.
Yeah, good afternoon. You're all locked onto the True Nation station, The Culture Drive, Tony P and KG. And this afternoon we got a very special guest.
That's right, TNT, 25 minutes after the hour of 3 o'clock. WAC 90.1 FM, of course, What You Like Wednesday. And today, we have inside our studios, television presenter, once again, a radio, newsreader, actress, producer, and the list goes on and on. Marcia Henville.
Infamous.
In the building.
Infamous. Marcia Henville.
Good to be here, guys.
Good afternoon, and welcome to WAC 90.1 FM. Is this the first time? Is this the first time?
It really is, and it's a pleasure to be here. I got such a warm welcome. Really, really warm.
I heard the fanfare and stuff like that.
Yes, the drum rolls and yes, and you saw people bowing, didn't you?
Yeah, Kenny came downstairs for you, petals.
And the red carpet.
All right, so so let's start. Most people may know you from your TV show Point Blank. That's on TV6.
It is.
All right. But tell me a little bit more about Marcia Henville in the earlier days. Because also people may know you from the theater. But tell me a little bit before that.
You know a number of things, don't you? Yeah, it's interesting. I've done theatre. Okay, before that, you see, you go back to when I came to Trinidad in the first place.
Right.
Because I wasn't born in Trinidad. I came here about 20 years ago, and I came here and started off as a reporter.
Yes.
And I started off as a reporter just because I needed a job. And I thought might as well do that. I worked at the Express. It was a really, really eye-opening. It was a wonderful experience. Being a reporter was excellent. I learned a lot from a lot of people. And then I moved to the bank as a challenge. Would I work in a bank? Could I work in a bank? Okay, I'm working as a manager of communications. And it's like, it really wasn't me. And I auditioned I sent in a demo to NBN. And I got a job reading the news. Brenda De Silva is the one who opened that door for me. And based on me working at NBN TTT, Gael called me and that opened the door for TV. So I was doing TV and radio. And I started off in television with On Guard, which was about, the community, same kind of thing.
Yeah.
I got into working in at-risk area. Well, I say working, you know what I mean? Shooting and going in and doing interviews in those hotspots when Kerwin Fresh Phillips died in 2007.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I was invited in to just observe the community because I said, I hear a lot about the ghettos and the hotspots. I've never been into them. I'm interested in them. I think there are really good things that could be happening but aren't. And so I went in, and that was it. It turned my whole life around. And turned around my whole experience of Trinidad and my whole understanding of Trinidad. And that's why I do what I do, I guess, because, I have a new mindset, a new vision.
What's the vision? Let me tell me about the vision.
Well, you see, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and I came here with rose-colored glasses on, thinking I'm home among my people. I lived in England where I was born and raised, and white people don't like me. So I've come to my parents' homeland, and everybody will like and accept me because I'm African like them, or I'm from the Caribbean.
All right.
And when I got here, I didn't realize that there was also its own kind of racism, or divisionism, or classism, and separatism, and a kind of apartheid system in terms of where you live. And I all of those things opened my eyes, and then I realized there's an underclass, and there are people who have nothing, and who have very little and live in latrines and earn, $2,500 a month, but have to pay $1,500 in rent and have to pay for their child's daycare. And then there are other people who live fabulously and own all the Audis and the Range Rovers and can dine at Show Restaurant round by the Savannah. And it's a completely different world, two different worlds. And I realize that that's why the crime will be perpetuated, because the people at the other end of this will think, look, you have everything and you don't care about me, so I'm going to take what you have because I don't care about you. You see, when I realized all of that, then it made me realize if I have an opportunity to do television, I will do it. I will do something that can make a difference, as opposed to me flamming myself with my hair, which I also like to do.
All right. Now, again, as you said, before, you have gone into a lot of the, the hotspots. You've been to a lot of the, troubled communities, as they say.
Yeah. The garrisons.
In your opinion, what are some of the contributing factors to these places being called hotspots, or to some of these communities being the way that they are?
I think it's token politics. I think it's the politics of, well, I know that you are going to vote for me and I have you securely on my side, so therefore I can pretend to give you things, or I can give you things when it's expedient, like when it's the general election. I can give you things then and keep you, but I'm really not going to elevate the community. You see, if you cared about the people in these communities that you represent, you would give them fish to help. You wouldn't give them fish, you'd help them feed themselves. You would show them how to feed themselves. It took me a long time to realize that people have tried to use me and will always try to use me. So they'll call me and they ask me to do something for them and I'll do it. And it took a long while to realize, why don't I show them how to do it rather than me doing it? Because people will always sit on your head figuratively, right, if they can get away with it. The politics that we have is such that we don't teach them how to feed themselves. We keep them dependent. And when I keep you dependent, okay, so for example, general election is coming, I'm going to employ you, let's say you, Tony, right? You control a clip of 2,000 men or 1,000 men or 500 people. That's 500 votes. I'll make sure you get money. I'll take care of you. You therefore give your soldiers, whatever you give them, but everybody's rolling, right? For that particular time, you're making your money a night. You might get a 10 or 20,000, depending on how you can negotiate with whoever the person is, the candidate. As soon as the election's finished, that's it. Your money's finished. Right, because you probably spent it on the latest Jordans, among other things, but your money's finished. And the politician has moved on, and he has your vote, and he hasn't even begun to think of giving you any of the deliverables that he promised. And you're left, Tony, and you're left with nothing. The area is no better. And we accept that as a people all the time. So that's a contributing factor. We ourselves are contributors. We don't want to help ourselves. We don't even clean up our own spaces. We sit on people, as I said, we sit on the government in many ways, and we say they owe us. They don't owe you anything. So that's the living space is a contributing factor. If you see some of these places where there is very little for children to do, and it's run down, you know what I mean, or where there are gunmen around, they're looking to mark the turf and the lookouts because there's another faction on the other side, so children can't play. Beverly Hills is an example.
That's right. And you're one of the persons who seem very passionate and real about what you're doing. You try to bring across your story, on your show on Point Blank, the real way, without the gimmicks and, what we see from some other shows. I'm sorry, but I have to say, how did that sort of, outlook on this whole situation come about? Is it something that, again, as you said, coming to Trinidad and you saw these contributing factors, or was it something that you saw in England that, helped?
Well, my approach to it?
Yeah, your approach.
My approach to it was developed at Gael because I had never done TV and I didn't know anything about TV. As many of us who started at Gael, we were all neophytes, all green. And Errol Fabian always said, be yourself. Now, you'd watch CNN and BBC and everybody was very proper, and you'd watch the news and everybody was very proper. It would. But Errol's philosophy was, be yourself and do you. And you will come, because this is community, this is local, these are the people on the ground that we're talking to. We're talking to people like you and me. So just be yourself. And because of that, and because I like acting, and I've done some theatre, and I can do me. I can do me too well sometimes. I was given to it.
But Marcia, within doing you, there's always, in your program, as it says, it's real. So there's an element of danger that is there. Because the areas you're going into, as you know, controlled by certain ghetto dons. So permission, me being a guy who lived in the East-West corridor, you can just walk in anywhere and do anything and film anything and talk to anybody just like that. So, and also that how that creative control come with your heads now, being able to have that control and be raw, and still maintain being raw. And also that the other part will ask about the security aspect of it.
Okay, well, let me deal with that first. Security-wise, you see, because I've been doing it for so long, people know me, more people know me than I think. which means I can't get away with certain public.
Right.
But it also means that wherever I go, people will understand. If I make a mistake, let me give you an example of a mistake. I went into Beetham last week, Friday. It was about 11:30 in the night. Now, I'd never been into Beetham that late by myself. Not really. I'd been in before late, but for an event.
Right.
All right.
There was no event going on. I went to look for my friend. Right? Sherma. Hi, Sherma. So I went to look for Sherma, and I drove in from the beginning, phase 1, all the way through. And there were no lights. And I was like, oh, TNTech's gone. I mean, TNTech's cut the lights, or it's just there's a power outage. But I'm driving along and I'm realizing there are lights in the furthest distance, probably in phase 3 or 4 and 5. But there are no lights in phases 1 and 2. Okay, no thing. I have my radio up, my windows are down, I'm liking myself, enjoying my music. And I'm seeing 2 guys at the side of me, but it's dark now, but I'm seeing 2 figures. But I realized that they're calling out, so I turned my radio down and said, let me reverse just to see what they want, who they are. And as I reversed, there were 2 guys watching the block. Now, I know you know what watching the block means. Yeah, you're watching the block and you're looking to see where your enemies are and if they're going to attack. And, they shot the lights out themselves. Now, I didn't know that. But I felt the tension. I felt it. I knew that it was more than TNTech cutting, there being a power outage. But what the 2 boys said to me, one was about 11. And
really?
I'm telling you, and the other was about 18. He could have been 9, but let's say he's 11. And they said, oh, Miss Marcia. Oh, that is the woman from TV. That is Miss Marcia. And I'm like, wow, the little boy knows me. But it was like, okay, go on. But Miss Marcia, here, what? You need to blink your lights as you go. Keep blinking your lights. Me, okay. Okay, all right. So I get to phase 3 where I was going, and I was telling the guy, I said, but Jesus Christ, what was going on? They said, yeah. They said they shut the lights out. They're marking the block. The enemy's ring, ting, ting. The police have been making frequent patrols. They're not interfering with us, Miss Marcia, because we have our lights on and they listen to their music. But them down the road, whatever scene they on, and I'm like, but Miss Marcia, the rule number 1, you must not drive in here so late at night. Wow. If you're doing that, Miss Marcia, you have to come from the bus route by so and swing in by so. It's me, yes, sir. That's what I'm saying. You make mistakes and you stumble. You realize, oh my God, I could have walked into something dread, but they look out for you because they know you. Right. Now, if I were a stranger, I'm not sure. I may have been robbed. I don't know. Because I'm not painting them as innocent. They're not. You understand? They're not innocent. And they could have... My friend told me he was robbed in Beetham yesterday, actually. You see, that pains my heart. But there are a lot of good people there. Most of the area is not full of gunmen and killers. It's not. Right. And that's all I'm saying.
Are we doing enough as a government, as a country? Are we doing enough to really rid these areas of this type of situation and that type of thing that's going on?
No, I don't think we are. I think if we meant to, we would put in community programs and things that would give you a meaning and a purpose for coming home and doing something while I'm at home, as opposed to sitting on a block and looking to see who I could mark and what I could steal. Why would you not want to create football and basketball and tennis or whatever camps and projects or whatever you call them in the area? Why wouldn't you want to have these programs? And maths and English. Some of these guys are brilliant at maths. Brilliant. The boys in St. Barb's story that I did about 3 or 4 months ago, those boys are brilliant. I am mesmerized by how good they are at maths. I don't even have my maths O level and I really don't care about it. But because in England it's not compulsory. Right. But I'm mesmerized by them. That kind of talent is equal to any one of our talents. I can talk, you can sing, they can do math. Right. They're equal to us. Yeah. If you put the programs in place so that they can develop themselves, maybe they won't think about holding a gun so often. But the ones that do, well, then you have to deal with them as the ones who do.
Yeah.
But what about the ones who don't want to? So I'm just saying, put programs in the communities and don't look for political mileage.
That's it, political mileage, because we see that programs are going in, but they are short-term programs.
Yeah.
There's nothing long-term. They're just short-term for a time. Yeah. just for the mileage.
That's the sad thing about it.
All right, TNT, so we're inside with Marcia Henville. All right, Culture Crazy Radio 90.1 FM. It's the Culture Drive. KG and Tony P. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with lots more. Also, we're going to open up the phone lines and then take some of your calls. Keep it locked.
On the True Nation station.
Culture Drive.
And I'm going to be singing a song with Tony.
Of course. You know, you're the boss. I want to walk with you. I'm safe.
That's right.
But they don't care. I don't think the government care, no. I don't think they really care.
You don't think they care about you?
I don't think they care. I'm not ruling out all, but the majority don't care. There are some that will have some kind of concern or caring, but the majority on the whole, they don't really care what's going on in the ghettos.
Why don't you think they care?
Why?
Yeah, why? What gives you the impression that they don't care?
All right. On my point of view, you're living on the grounds, right? Watch what is going on majority of the times. They might bring 1 or 2 projects or contracts around that these guys might feel really, they get through. But when you really check it out and you get the word, all the contracts going south. When you watch the text that you hear, watch the kind of people who have in these big houses and luxury cars and how much cars park in the yard, you know. They might say, yeah, they qualify to get it, but it is a corruption on the whole that they only feed in one side of the ball. And when you feed one side of the ball, the other side off balance. So these guys have to eat, man. I'm not condoling any wrongdoing, but people have to eat and drink, and if you can't provide for your family, you're worse than an infidel. So, man, don't feel, man, illiterate around here, no. Man is reading, no. Man understand. Every day, man, buying papers, they're reading. Men have understanding. The government don't really give a full care about people in the ghetto. They don't care.